morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the Leader Man's bubbly sidekick. Good morning.
Don't forget, we are being seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top and middle of the page is where the link's located. On your mobile device, you use your YouTube TuneIn app. No, YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube for video.
Too many websites. Anyway, YouTube app. And put Mornings with the Leader Man in there. If you're looking for audio to our, just only to our website, we suggest using apps like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer, all free and available at your app store. And put WEEB into that search to get us at the top of your list. And it's always available to you, by the way, at our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page is a icon that says Listen Live, and that's where you want to tap one time, and you'll be listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, it's going to be a cold one, about 10 degrees colder than it was yesterday. That's right. It is winter, and thank goodness it's going to be a dry day. So that's the main goal there. But look for things to be mostly sunny today with a high of 42. About a little breezy, so the wind chill is going to be around 21, so you'll need those earmuffs.
Dry has really gotten to be an anomaly around here.
I love it. Love it. I always say, just remember August. Remember August. Oh, if that's not good enough, add September to it, and October. We had those 72-plus days of 72-plus dew points, day after day after day, with no end in sight. Anyway, tonight clear, a little bit colder, 22 for a low. Then for Friday, sunny, 45 for a high. Friday night, partly cloudy, 72. Now, we got some mixed precipitation coming in over the weekend, Saturday, but don't expect anything out of this. It's just going to be too warm. The only caveat is, let's see, Saturday night, they say rain. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Mostly cloudy Saturday with a chance of rain and snow, high of 44. Obviously, too cold to stick anywhere. But Saturday night, they say cloudy with rain, a low of 33. That could, that's right there on the cusp of being a mess. But we'll go with the forecast radar and say 33 for high, a low. It will just rain. Sunday, cloudy with rain. It's going to be high of 41, so that'll knock out any snow that does fall. Sunday night, mostly cloudy, isolated showers, a low of 32. So great chance of, 80% chance of rain Saturday night, Sunday. Monday, mostly cloudy, isolated shower possible, not likely, high of 43. 51 on Tuesday under sunshine, and Wednesday, sunny and 55. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are variable at up to 5 miles an hour. Visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure is 3012. Dew point 16. Humidity 58%. It's clear and officially 29 degrees right here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. All right, it's 7:32 past the hour. I know let's see, what was it? Where did I put it? Yes. James Corden, the foreigner on CBS who tries to tell America how to run their country.
On the Late Show or whatever.
Yeah. The one who...
The comedy guy.
Wants to act like he's 100 pounds when he's 300 pounds. But during his... he was talking about Trump's immigration speech and what Stormy Daniels will be doing.
During Donald Trump's address, Stormy Daniels offered an alternative option for viewers. They could watch her on Instagram Live folding laundry in her underwear. As a rebuttal, Vice President Mike Pence was folding pleated golf pants on ChristianMingle.com.
Yeah, just a thrill a second there, wasn't it?
Well, that was kind of funny.
All right.
Folding pleated golf pants.
Well, yeah, that's about as exciting as watching Stormy Daniels folding laundry.
But you know what? Men our age are apparently not supposed to wear pleated pants. You're not supposed to wear pleated pants if you're over 35 or so. I don't know who makes up
pleats
these
are
rules.
just so far out of style.
Yeah, well, but they're not out of style, I guess, if you're young.
No, yeah, it is. At least from these up-and-coming TV shows I have watched.
Well, I take your word for it.
I say, oh, gosh, that guy's wearing pleats.
I am no fashion maven.
The CEO of Amazon has learned that money doesn't buy happiness in a marriage. That's why there's, well, you know, he's getting divorced from his wife of, 25 years, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And marrying a 25-year-old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's getting, he's seeing somebody. That's right, a model.
You don't
You
get
knew
off...
there would be another woman in the background when $168 billion assets in your portfolio is there.
Yeah, you don't get off a plane holding hands when you're the richest man in the world without knowing somebody's going to take pictures. So it's not like he was caught. I mean, she must have known.
Unfortunately for him, there is Amazon divorce out there.
You love Amazon. The video, the music, the photo storage, and now even more to love when you're out of love. Introducing Amazon Divorce. Whether you're looking at a settlement of a couple $100 or $137 billion, Amazon Divorce makes it simple. We'll ship your paperwork in 2 days with Amazon Prime. After you've thumbed through reviews on our website from other divorced people like Ben Affleck, Brad Pitt, and Kanye West, give that one time. Fill it out and send it back. Best of all, once you find that special someone again, you'll be absolutely sure she's with you for your charm and looks, and not your money. Just like Jeff Bezos. Amazon Divorce. Next time, find a woman you don't like and just buy her a house.
Today's show is brought to you by the Pound Key. Unless you're young, then the hashtag. Unless you're ancient, then the tic-tac-toe board.
There you go. Okay. Oh, yeah, Trump had his meeting with Pelosi and Schumer. Those that were there said that Trump came in, he was polite, he put some offers on the table, and Chucky and Nancy said no. So he left. But we have the actual footage, the tape of that meeting, which was kind of brief.
And now, full coverage of President Trump's meeting with congressional leaders.
Bye-bye.
This has been full coverage of President Trump's meeting with congressional leaders.
Well, I for whatever reason, Steve, I just don't believe the things that Pelosi and Schumer say. And I don't know what that is, experience guided by intelligence, as Limbaugh would say. But they've openly said, she's openly said multiple times, no money for, what do I have to say? What do I, read my lips. She said it over and over and over. So when Pence or even that weasel McCarthy come out and say that they got up and said, no, we're not going to give you anything, and the president said, okay, then I'm leaving, that certainly rings true. Talk about weasels.
Well, talk about people who just can't get along or do anything, offer nothing in return. And this rhetoric you keep hearing, now is a manufactured crisis. That's the Dems' key words. Manufactured crisis. And they're all in favor of, quote, comprehensive immigration reform. If I hear that once again, I'm going to hurl. You admit in your comprehensive reform that building barriers, structures, are part of it. So why are we hung up on a segment of wall here? It's because the president wants it, and they're not going to give him anything he wants. That's what it boils down to.
Yep.
And I see it coming quickly. He'll declare the emergency and drag the money from the military, and they'll throw it in the courts, and it'll get stalled till it gets to the Supreme Court. But then they'll open the government back up. We'll see. This kind of looks like the direction it's heading in. Now, a story that was passed around yesterday about the California doorbell liquor.
Liquor as in Q or
like as in
CK?
Tongue
Oh,
on doorbell.
Hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, this guy was licking a doorbell for 3 hours.
Okay.
And, of course, he was caught on camera. But our production guys couldn't leave it alone at that. No, they had to enhance the moment for him.
This could be one of the strangest stories that we've ever had to cover. A man caught licking a doorbell on video. Here's the surveillance the homeowner captured early on Saturday morning, and the man hung around this Salinas house for a few hours.
Bizarre may be underestimating the situation.
He's a bell teaser.
The man having an interesting encounter
There was a camera there.
with their doorbell.
He's a bell pleaser.
That is just weird.
He didn't seem to care, no. He was a doorbell licker. He liked to lick it, yeah. He did it so long. He made out with his tongue out.
I'll give you the old smoochy, smoke, kissy, wissy. I wanna kiss you all over and over and again. I wanna kiss you all over.
The doorbell liquor song. What a waste. A British student has started January. You know what January is?
Well, I'm guessing it's like No Shave November?
Yep, it's No Shave January for women.
Oh,
Here's your
good.
report.
If young women are growing up and every woman they see is completely wax-shaved plucked within an inch of her life, then what happens? They turn 10, 11, 12, 13, they grow a few body hairs and they think there's something wrong with them.
No,
they think
no,
it's
no,
disgusting.
I disagree.
And I just
When I
feel
first-
really strongly we have to send a message to young people that says...
What is the message
way
you're sending?
The way your body is naturally is absolutely fine.
Okay, then why do we cut our hair? Why do we shave our faces?
Well, you shouldn't shave. That's her point.
Shouldn't cut our hair either.
And they're
I bet she
British.
said on that show with a haircut.
And you might say, why do we get our teeth fixed? But they're British, so that probably wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Now, if you're British, then you know what I'm talking about.
They'll just be crooked. Well, believe it or not, now you can tour the factory where Peeps are made.
Oh, lucky us.
The company in Pennsylvania that makes them is doing a contest.
I can't tell you how many people show up every year to come for a factory tour, and we don't offer a tour to the general public. For every $5 donation that you make to the United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley, you win a chance, to win the VIP factory tour. Everybody knows and loves Peeps, but no one ever gets a chance to taste it nice and warm off the line, and it's just pretty amazing. We have 4 marshmallow belts that are kicking out marshmallow chicks and bunnies for this coming Easter.
I guess it's kind of like donuts. They're always good, but it's nothing like when they just came off the factory line.
I guess.
Used to be, when I was a kid, there was, or younger, when I lived in Raleigh, that they had the Krispy Kreme factory there, and you could go in. They started coming off the line at 5 o'clock, the regular ones, in the morning. And so you go in the morning and get you hot donuts, as you put your fingers through the hole, it would sag. It was so warm. And of course, nobody could eat just one. That was a 12-pack for sure.
I understand the concept though, because it's like it is with ice. I really like ice when it's fresh out of the tap and it's.
Why is everything that tastes good is detrimental to your waistline or health, and everything that tastes like crap is so good for you? Why did Mother Nature do that? I mean, you got I guess inborn desires for certain types of food.
Honestly, I don't think Mother Nature did it.
I don't know.
It wasn't Mother Nature that said, "Here, eat this cardboard. It's good for you."
Well, my mother said, eat this okra. It's good for you, and I hurled it back up.
Oh, is her name Nature? No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts, that was not created by nature. That was created by the Romans. That's what caused the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, so it was cauliflower, man-made.
And broccoli. Supposedly developed out of kale 2,000 years ago by the Romans, all three of those things.
So you ask yourself, but still, why are the things you like the least are the most good for you? Why couldn't it be the other way around? Like sugar donuts made from wheat.
Mother Nature didn't make donuts.
Cane sugar.
But the cane is natural. I prefer you not call it sugar, though. I really prefer evaporated cane juice.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Here's a little twist for you. A guy stole his roommate's $10 million lottery ticket and tried to cash it. But he put in its place a phony $10 million lottery ticket. But here's the whole story. We'll let the reporter tell you.
One of his roommates goes to the same store, purchases the same ticket, later alters his losing ticket to match the winning ticket.
Not only did he forge this, but he forged what is the wrong winning amount in this.
That's correct.
If you win the lotto, be careful who you trust.
Sign it, put it in a safe place only you know about, but you'll remember, and then come and claim the ticket.
Anyway, just to give you the backstory on this, the guy told his roommate he hit the lottery for $10,000. So the roommate stole the ticket and swapped it in with a phony one, and he altered like the real one. When the guy went to cash it, lottery officials told him it was fake. Then the roommate showed up to cash the real ticket on Monday and got arrested. But the craziest part is they both thought the ticket was for $10,000, but it was actually for $10 million.
Wow!
Somebody didn't show up for simple math class one day and understand all the zeros there.
Somebody didn't show up for simple math class the next day after winning $10 million.
So,
hell with the degree.
Now the guy's a millionaire. The roommate's facing charges for grand theft. And what you heard there was the cop and a lottery official talking. Well, you probably have heard the song Beer O'Clock by the Divorcees.
Vero?
Beer O'Clock.
No. Well, I don't think so.
Never heard the term Beer O'Clock?
I don't think so.
Well, that's what you say when it's time to have a beer. And a new study figured out exactly when Beer O'Clock happens. The consensus is 6:31 p.m. on Friday. In other words, during happy hour.
It's bear o'clock. I got the killer some time. Around whiskey 30, I'll be clear till 9. It's bear o'clock. Jaeger bombs away. It's bear o'clock. I'm gonna pop the top and plan my getaway.
Another fast two-stepper there for you. Beer O'Clock. It's been a while since I was in country music. Let's see. A new study identified the most popular condiment in each state. Hidden Valley Ranch is number 1 in 5 states: Arkansas, Iowa, Idaho, Oklahoma, and West Virginia.
Wait.
You might remember.
Really? What was the second state?
Idaho.
I had a pimp. Want a job? Oh, I think that's like number 6.
Here's Melissa McCarthy on SNL talking about a Hidden Valley Ranch party in her month.
There's a Hidden Valley Ranch party in my mouth.
I screwed it up.
There's a Hidden Valley Ranch party in my mouth.
There you go. Now, if you ever gotten a speeding ticket, first thing the cop does when he comes up to the window, besides asking for your ID and stuff, is
make sure you don't have a gun.
Is there a reason you're going so fast? And a guy in Manitoba, Canada, he got pulled over for doing 90 miles an hour. When the police asked him for an explanation, the guy said he couldn't help it because Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue was on the radio. And the cop knew he was telling the truth because he was listening to the same station. But he still wrote him the $482 ticket.
Well, I'll bet the cop was going 92 also, wasn't he? Proof that there was no control.
Had to catch up.
See?
Put him in the mood to go get him, didn't it?
That's a funny excuse.
Well, it was the truth.
I couldn't help it, man.
Well, I've been to court too many times, and I know that the liars walk away with the win. People who tell the truth lose, seems like. Although I'm not encouraging anybody not to tell the truth. Because it's just not in me to lie. But I've seen it too many times. And it's so obvious they're sitting there lying, and the judge will still rule their way.
The way you can beat it is to go before the judge, and when the judge asks you a question about it, you say, I invoke the Fifth Amendment so I don't incriminate myself. You'll absolutely win every time.
Try that one.
That's what I do. That's what I did before the 5 years in the pen.
A man named Ray Shoemaker in Du Bois, Iowa, lost his wedding ring sometime in the early 70s, and it was recently found inside an engine of an Oldsmobile. The man who found it reunited it with Ray, who's now 93 years old. Ray's daughter, who was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, took it as a sign that everything is going to be okay.
This Oldsmobile, it's been sitting about 20 years.
I was going to send it to the junkyard, and if I'd have done that, it'd have been gone.
It was kind of looked like a donut hole, but it had a little shine through it, and I picked it up just to see what it was, and chipping through it, it was a ring. I called Ray's daughter to see if they knew anybody lost a wedding band.
I had said, well, what kind? And he had said a wedding band, and I said that my father had lost a wedding ring, but it had diamonds in it, and he said, this one does. I just found out that I had breast cancer, and I lost my mom to breast cancer, and my sister told me that it was a sign that everything was going to be okay.
I felt great that, something real good came out of it.
I really treasured it.
Okay.
Good. I love these stories of good people doing the right thing.
That's my good news story for today.
That's wonderful. I hope she's okay.
Well, Michael Daffy Duck Strahan, the one that talked the whole time, spent a full segment trying to talk to Kevin Hart about his past homophobic comments. But Kevin Hart wasn't having it. I think Michael Strahan wants to host the Oscars. Problem is, they'd be mopping the floor all night from his Daffy Duck impersonation. Anyway, he kept saying he was over talking about it. This from GMA yesterday.
You apologized. You said you were sorry, but there are a lot of people who've taken an issue to the way that you've apologized. So what do you say to that?
I say I'm done with it. It gets no more energy from me. There's no more conversation about it. I'm over that. I'm over the moment, and I'm about today. So if it's accepted, great. If it's not, it's nothing I can control. Some things are left out of your hands. So I'm done with it. I'm over it. That's where I personally am.
How have you evolved?
I have explained how I evolved, which makes me say I'm over it. I'm not saying how I've changed anymore. I'm not saying what I've done and what the new me is. I'm not giving no more explanation of who I am. I've done it. I'm just done. I've addressed it, and I've said everything that I can possibly say, so I'm over it.
So there's really nothing more that you want to say.
You will not hear me say anything else about it. You're not going to ever hear me say anything else about it. I'm over it. Here's what I'm trying to say. I'm over it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm done with it. If you keep feeding this energy, then it's going to grow. You're not getting no more of my energy from it. I'm not giving no more because it showed that it's endless. So I'm not shutting down the questions. I hear everything you're saying, but I want everybody to know I'm done with it.
Those little sounds, I guess, represented Strahan asking him about it. It's like 10 times.
Yeah. And he also said that he wasn't going to do it because he doesn't have enough time to prepare for it.
Is there a hope that you would host the Oscars this year?
No.
So that's an absolute no.
Yes, I'm not hosting the Oscars this year, and it has nothing to do with...
In the future?
It's hard to predict what can happen, and I don't want people to think that there's a thing between me and the Academy, because there isn't. The Academy, they're amazing people. The offer was made. It was received. I was excited. Things happened. It didn't work out the way that it should have. Right now, from a time perspective, I don't have the time. You know, you're talking about 2 weeks that I would really have to prepare. I start filming Jumanji in February. I would like to call myself a perfectionist. So if I do something, I want to be able to give it my all and make sure that the production is a great representation of me and my talent. I can't do that right now. So, you know, unfortunately, I can't do it this year. It's not going to happen. And in the future, if it does, it does.
Well, they can always get the two boring people they have for the Golden Globes. I'm sure they'd do it. From things you didn't need to know today so you don't sound stupid, a penny found in a child's lunch money turned out to be a 1943 Lincoln Head penny made of copper. That was the year, due to the war, they made pennies out of steel. It is expected to sell at auction for anywhere between $100,000 and $1.7 million.
Holy moly.
I think I'll hold out for the 1.7 mil.
Sold.
McDonald's is going bacon crazy, coming on January 30th. Cheesy bacon fries, the Big Mac bacon burger, and a quarter-pounder bacon burger. Excuse me while I take a moment to fantasize about eating these things, which I can't do.
So we stopped doing... we stopped cooking our fries in beef fat or whatever it was they used to do. We stopped deep frying our apple pies. And now we're back to bacon?
Or bacon fries.
You know, McDonald's was taking a hit. That CEO that they had, I don't know if she's still the CEO, but apparently she was making all kinds of healthful decisions that people just didn't like. Now I sound like Michael Strahan.
A new survey found that 1 in 5 millennials with debt plan to die without paying it off. Oh, yeah. Giving the taxpayer the finger on the way out, are you? They put up the money to put your dummy butt through school and trying to turn that mind to mush into something.
Oh, did that say specifically student debt?
With debt. It didn't say student debt. I'm throwing it in there.
Because I kind of suspect...
you can't even escape the student debt with death.
I kind of suspect that as time goes on and they have children and start realizing that their debt rolls off on their heirs, that they might end up paying that off. Maybe not.
Well, when a lot of people die, I mean, the executors of the estate is required to publish a legal notice saying anybody who is owed money by this estate needs to speak up now. So you do, and then the secured creditors are paid first with the security, and the unsecured creditors get what's left. And if there's anything left after that, that then passes on to the heirs. But that's kind of how it works. And you can, I believe, say to the unsecured creditors, I think you're supposed to pay all their debts. That's required. But I'm not sure if credit cards fall into that category. In Oklahoma, a woman is facing multiple fines after bragging about poaching a bingo buck on a dating app to a man who turned out to be a state game warden. Didn't work well for her. Japan has instituted a departure tax. You knew. Somebody sat down and said, what's something else we can tax? Oh, yeah, let's tax them leaving.
Did their date work out, though? That's
known as a sayonara tax. Yeah, it's a fee to leave the country. Before you board your jet or cruise ship to leave, the country will make you pony up $9. Just no end to government greed.
California, New York, some of these others are going to have to be implementing that kind of stuff soon. They're losing so many big money people.
Yeah, and they're putting a big tax burden on everybody. De Blasio yesterday, or day before yesterday, putting in free health care to anyone who lives in New York. Well, a whole lot of people are moving there right as we speak for the health care. You got a health problem that's not covered, and you have no health insurance, can't afford it because the Obamacare price is just a little too high. Well, then move to New York, get it for free.
Did New York just legalize pot?
Yes.
Okay, so all the stoners in Washington are going to move across the country, so they get health care, too.
I believe California's putting in the one-payer system.
They've talked about it.
Yeah. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock here, currently we're looking at 29 degrees. Your full forecast is next, followed by your news, sports, and weather is all 8 o'clock.
Our weather today is all about high pressure. It's building in. It's an Arctic air mass. We're feeling that chill this morning. Later this afternoon, partly cloudy, windy, cooler than what we had on Wednesday. The high in the low to mid 40s. Tonight is clear and cold. The winds do die down. So with the low to mid 20s, we're not talking about as fierce of a wind chill for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow itself is partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures are a bit more mild. Our highs in the mid to upper 40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In his ongoing push for a border wall, President Trump visits the southern border in Texas later today. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
On this 20th day of the partial government shutdown, the president is traveling to the U.S.-Mexico border to drive home the need for a physical barrier. Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen says walls do work.
Everywhere we have put up a wall, illegal immigration has been reduced 90 to 95%.
But Democrats disagree, and the budget impasse continues.
And the latest attempt to end that impasse, a bargaining session between the president and congressional Democratic leaders, did not last very long.
On Twitter, the president said the meeting with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was a complete waste of time.
He asked Speaker Pelosi, will you agree to my wall? She said no. And he just got up and said, then we have nothing to discuss, and he just walked out.
Vice President Mike Pence says there was no willingness by Schumer or Pelosi to negotiate.
Even if he gave her what she wanted, she would never agree to the border security priorities that we have on the table.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's message to Democrats.
According to the minutes of the Fed's latest meeting, officials believe that with inflation still muted, the central bank can afford to be patient about future rate hikes. The union representing teachers in Los Angeles, country's second largest school district, have postponed the start of a strike until Monday. They had been considering a walkout starting today. This would be the first teacher strike in L.A. in about 30 years. Wall Street futures in the red this morning. Dow futures down 86 points. S&P futures off 13. NASDAQ futures down 42. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. Today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher mortgage payments. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates so you can buy a home with certainty. It's called Rate Shield, and here's how it works. With Rate Shield, you can lock your interest rate while you shop for a new home. So if rates go up, you don't have to worry. And here's the best part. If rates go down, you get the lower rate. With Rate Shield, we really have you covered. Here are more reasons why you'll want to work with America's largest mortgage lender. For 9 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 5th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Rate Shield. Another way we can save you money on your mortgage. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Israel is feeling the effects of the new congressional session in the U.S. We got the latest from the Media Line's Michael Friedson.
Israel once again finds itself deep in American politics. As the new Congress was gaveled into session, the first bill up for consideration was supposed to have been authorization of aid to Israel and a bill prohibiting participation in the anti-Israel boycott. But instead, Senate Democrats blocked the Israel bill, insisting there should be nothing considered until the government is back in business. Republicans are nevertheless accusing Democrats of refusing to step forward for Israel, with some freshman Democrats behaving aggressively and vocally against the Jewish state. Attempts to portray the debate as a freedom of speech rather than pro- or anti-Israel matter are falling flat, led by Florida Senator Marco Rubio, author of the anti-boycott bill. I'm Michael Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. She got more than she bargained for from one of the ornaments on her real Christmas tree.
More than 100 praying mantises popped out of a brown egg case under the branches of Molly Kreutz's tree. She says the insects were crawling on her walls and ceilings. In some houses, the creatures might have met with a shoe or a rolled-up magazine. But Kreutz, who's a veterinarian, captured the praying mantises using a box and an envelope, and she's feeding them fruit flies. Kreutz says she learned some people, including organic gardeners, really like praying mantises, which eat other bugs, so she hopes to find them a new home. But next Christmas, Kreutz says she wants a fake tree. Keith Peters reporting.
Asian financial markets mixed today after U.S. and Chinese officials wrapped up 3 days of trade talks in Beijing without any significant breakthroughs being reported, although China says the two sides will remain in contact in the days ahead. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is Chuck from Sunbelt Service Pros. Are you just not feeling it anymore with your AC service provider? Are you calling those guys because that's what you've always done, or because there's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone number on it? How about this? Take a chance and you'll be thrilled to find that you're getting real value for your heating and cooling dollars. When you call Sunbelt Service Pros, you are dealing with a professional and reliable service provider. Our technicians are highly trained and certified and can quickly address any issues. Our customers find our technicians and office staff courteous, friendly, and professional throughout the whole process. We're doing something right here. You need to check us out, find out what you've been missing, and call us today. Sunbelt Service Pros at 910-944-2044 or go online to sunbeltservicepros.com.
A great sub starts with great bread. At Jersey Mike's, we have great bread. White bread, wheat bread, and now rosemary Parmesan bread. Hi, I'm Pat Mignon, owner of Jersey Mike's here in Aberdeen. Our breads are baked fresh throughout the day, and then we pile them high with fresh sliced meats and toppings just the way you like it. So the next time you come in, try our newest rosemary Parmesan bread. And oh, did I mention, we have gluten-free bread too. That's right, gluten-free bread now available at Jersey Mike's. We're a sub above.
What keeps your house toasty warm, cooks your food and heats your water, and gives you a great excuse to hang out in front of your fireplace? Propane gas brought to you by McNeil Oil and Propane of Aberdeen. McNeil Oil and Propane can handle all of your propane or heating oil needs. Call them at 944-2329 and have them come out to fill your own tank, or they can provide you with a new one. When you need propane or heating oil, call McNeil Oil and Propane today at 944-2329. That's 944-2329.
Do you have new electronics in your home and can't get everything talking to each other? Or you have problems with your router or Wi-Fi? Well, let our Super Geek come and help you. That's right. The Super Geek will come to you and resolve all your electronic problems. And yes, the Geek makes evening calls too. Just call the Geek at 910-690-9723 and make your appointment today. That's 690-9723 for WEEB Computer Repair, the home of the Super Geek. Hey, this is Steve Leader Adams. You know, for many years, I've had arthritis in my right shoulder. I was at the point that surgery was the only option. Then I discovered pressure wave therapy, available at Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes. Pressure wave therapy is a machine that concentrates pulses of pressure waves into your joint at a rate of 2,000 pulses per minute. The treatment is non-invasive and there is no downtime. Pressure waves help your body restore blood flow to your damaged joints and can even remove bone spurs and works on almost any joint in the body, including knees, hips, feet, and elbows. I've gone to only being able to raise my arms from 90 degrees to a full 360-degree motion. You can live pain-free too, without going under a surgeon's knife. give Dr. Sharon Wright a call at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. 910-673-2225. That's 910-673-2225.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. President Trump is going to the southern border in Texas after blowing up talks to end the partial government shutdown. Walking out of the room after Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said no to a commitment to pay for the wall. Major Garrett reports.
There is an emerging theory in the White House that this national emergency declaration might be the best way, might be the only way out of the shutdown. It would give the president the money he wants for the border wall, allow him to sign the bills to reopen the government. Yes, there'd be political fallout and blowback, legal challenges, but the White House theory believes those are fights worth making.
A Raleigh police officer is out of surgery this morning after being shot last night. 2 people are in custody. A deputy shoots a suspect in the mountains. It happened last night in Rutherford County. The deputy's okay. The SBI and Highway Patrol are assisting the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office in the investigation. North Carolina is preparing for a storm system that's likely to bring several inches of snow to the mountains and possibly a winter mix to the central part of the state. This continues a pattern we've been dealing with this winter. National Weather Service meteorologist Jonathan Blaze, who's in Raleigh, and tells NCN News.
The pattern, we've had this month, or at least last month, I guess, in December, was very typical of an El Nino weather pattern, which is what we're going to have for much of the winter. And that will come and go, but generally it means unsettled conditions, lots of clouds, periods of rain. And then if the cold air is present and time just right, then you can get some wintry precipitation.
Police in Arizona are looking for the person who raped a disabled patient at a long-term care center. The woman has been in a vegetative state for about 14 years and gave birth to a child at a health care center last month. Omar Villafranca is in Phoenix.
Phoenix police want to be clear that what happened here at Hacienda Healthcare was rape, and they expect this to be a very long investigation, but so far they have not ruled anyone out.
You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
An ethics complaint filed against North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore involving his business interests and interactions with state environmental regulators has been dismissed. The 170 representatives elected to the state legislature last November took their seats for the first time yesterday. In an opening speech to the House, Speaker Tim Moore highlighted some of the body's economic goals.
Let's continue improving our business climate. Let's keep a rapidly growing population and new jobs pouring into North Carolina. Let's maintain an approach that creates prosperity for native North Carolinians as well as our new arrivals. We all share the same goals for our local homes and districts.
The government shutdown has one Central Florida church providing some physical stress relief to furloughed workers.
I'm Peter King. The furloughed workers include thousands from the Kennedy Space Center. In nearby Titusville, one pastor needs volunteers to tear apart an old supermarket to make a new church, so he's putting out the call for help.
We got an opportunity to stay busy. That way you're not sitting at home in a beanbag eating Cheetos.
Dustin Sams says furloughed workers can get out their frustrations by ripping down walls and other fixtures inside the building. Volunteer Sean Daly says it's more than just demolition stress relief.
It's wonderful to be able to talk to somebody else that's in it.
Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in the Middle East reassuring allies about the U.S. withdrawal from Syria. Cammie McCormick has that.
Pompeo says the fight against ISIS in Syria will continue.
I've told each of the leaders here in the region that I've met that we're committed to that.
But he said in Syria the fight will go ahead differently.
It is possible to hold in your head the thought that we would withdraw our forces, our uniformed forces from Syria, and continue America's crushing campaign.
It isn't clear if the Trump administration has a deadline for the U.S. withdrawal. Cammie McCormick, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We are waking up to an Arctic air mass this morning. The potential exists for some of us to have wind chills in the teens. Now, later this afternoon, it becomes partly cloudy. It's windy, and it's cooler than what we had yesterday. The highs in the low to mid-40s. You'll feel that difference. Tonight, it's clear and cold. The winds die down. The low temperature in the low to mid-20s. Tomorrow is partly to mostly sunny. The temperatures move up a little bit. We're expecting mid to upper 40s for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we got sunshine, still cold, 29 degrees, humidity 58%, 2.16, pressure is 3012, winds north-northwest at 5, and visibility is at 10 statute miles. It's 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Thursday morning. Back on January 8th, investigators assisted the Moore County Department of Social Services with a welfare check on children at a residence in Carthage. After investigating the conditions of both the residents and children, it was determined that the children would be removed from the home and the mother charged. Investigators arrested Roxanne Danielle Moyer, should be Roxanne Danielle Moyer, 28 years of age, of Carthage. She was charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor child abuse, 3 counts of misdemeanor child neglect. She now is confined to the Moore County Detention Center under a $75,000 secured bond. And a deal recently struck with the nation's largest supplier of recycled glass will ensure Moore County can provide residents with a long-term, visible, and viable solution for glass recycling. But the new arrangement will require extra work for those who want to recycle glass rather than just toss it into the trash. Plans call for Strategic Metals Incorporated to refurbish a glass bunker, basically a storage area at the Moore County Transfer Station off of NC5. The area stopped being used when the county went from a dual stream to a single stream recycling program around a decade ago. But those who have curbside recycling collections still will not be able to resume putting glass into their cans with the paper, plastic, and aluminum. Instead, residents will be able to take the glass products to one of 7 county waste collection facilities and drop them off there at the collection sites. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning. But stand by. Here comes all your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. A heavy slate of top 25 college hoops on Wednesday. Mamadi Diakite matched a career high with 18 points. DeAndre Hunter also scored 18, and number 4 Virginia remained unbeaten with an 83-56 victory over Boston College. And with number 15 Houston upset by Temple last night, Virginia remains one of only 2 undefeated teams, along with second-ranked Michigan. Elsewhere in ACC play, number 9 Virginia Tech outlasted Georgia Tech 52-49, and 13th ranked Florida State held off Miami 68-62. In other top 25 finals, Dedrick Lawson scored 31 points to lead number 7 Kansas in the Jayhawks' 77-68 win over number 25 TCU.
We definitely knew that we couldn't lose 2 in a row, and we just wanted to win. We wanted to get back up on the winning streak, and we try to continue on.
10th ranked Nevada slaughtered San Jose State 92-53. Mississippi upstate number 11 Auburn 82-67. Rutgers surprised 16th ranked Ohio State 64-61. And number 21 Marquette, they survived overtime to beat Creighton 106-104. People familiar with the situation say Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts has entered his name into the NCAA transfer database portal. It'll allow other schools to contact him without binding Hurts to a transfer. Hurts already graduated. He's eligible to play his final season as a graduate transfer. He's a 2-year starter who led Alabama to a pair of national championship games and was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year as a freshman. The Hurricanes wrapping up a 3-game road trip tonight in Tampa. The Canes Falcons are enjoying a 5-game win streak, the longest they've gone without a loss since mid-November of 2016. Head coach Rod Brindamore was asked about the success of late.
We're just finding ways to win right now without playing our best is really the key, and that's a good sign. We know we can get better, and we'll try to get better.
The Canes facing a tall task, the Lightning, one of the NHL's best teams. They've won 8 in a row and 11 of their last 12 at home. They've got the longest home win streak in the NHL this season. This is NCN Sports.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing, and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Dabo Sweeney has won the Paul Bear Bryant Coach of the Year award for the 3rd time in 4 years, just 2 days after leading Clemson to its 2nd national championship in 3 seasons. Sweeney is the only 3-time winner of the 33rd annual award. Chris Peterson, who won the trophy in 2006 and 2009 in Boise State, he's the only other person to win it multiple times. The NFL and the Players Association released a joint statement Wednesday that said an independent administrator found Panthers safety Eric Reed received the normal number of drug tests this past season, and he was not subject to targeting by the league. In December, Reed said he'd been drug tested 7 times and was being targeted by the NFL because of his ongoing collusion case. The statement went on to say there's no evidence of targeting or any other impropriety with respect to his selection for testing. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hi, it's Keith again from Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More in Southern Pines, your local elite Tempur-Pedic retailer. Look, I know buying a mattress can be intimidating, but if you got questions, ask an expert. At Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More, we have Tempur-Pedic experts on site waiting to answer your questions and to find the Tempur-Pedic mattress that fits you. Trust us to be your bed buying expert and even receive white glove delivery service complimentary with any Tempur-Pedic purchase. And see why we are voted Best of the Pines in 2018 at Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More in Southern Pines. Better sleep, sweeter dreams.
This is Chuck from Sunbelt Service Pros. Are you just not feeling it anymore with your AC service provider? Are you calling those guys because that's what you've always done, or because there's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone number on it? How about this? Take a chance and you'll be thrilled to find that you're getting real value for your heating and cooling dollars. When you call Sunbelt Service Pros, you are dealing with a professional and reliable service provider. Our technicians are highly trained and certified and can quickly address any issues. Our customers find our technicians and office staff courteous, friendly, and professional throughout the whole process. We're doing something right here. You need to check us out. Find out what you've been missing and call us today. Sunbelt Service Pros at 910-944-2044 or go online to sunbeltservicepros.com.
Ever been told or seen those crazy ads that offer $1,000 off certain vehicles? Only be told when you show up that, hey, that's with the trade-in, or you didn't qualify. It's in the small print. I have, and I didn't like it. Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford. Our sales and service staff want to make your experience a fun and exciting one. Not scary and frustrating like you get at the big corporate stores. Our straightforward, no games, no gimmicks pricing and our low price guarantee make Cooper Ford your dealership of choice in Moore County. Working really hard to be your hometown dealer, Cooper Ford.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. If you haven't already heard of this, you may not believe it. A group of scientists are working on a way to control mosquitoes. They expect their plan to be ready to go in about 5 years. They're going to try to control breeding by making the female mosquito unattractive to the male mosquito. And I think that's a great idea, and I hope it works. I'm just not sure how you go about something like that. I think the female mosquito is already pretty unattractive. Maybe they're going to fix it so that all the female mosquitoes have a mustache, or they start growing hair on their legs. And what you just heard is a small part of the many reasons why I am not a scientist. Anyone who spent a lot of time outdoors especially if it was required by your work, hates mosquitoes. Frankly, my dislike started in 1969 and has grown over the years. Have you ever been on a camping trip and you have your little tent set up and all of a sudden here come the swarms of these pests? So you get in your tent and try to batten everything down, and then you realize there are 5 or 6 mosquitoes in your tent with you. I wish these scientists all the luck in the world. Okay, enough. Now, how do I tie this into politics? Making a female ugly enough to stop breeding. Actually, I wouldn't touch that in a million years. Not with a 10-foot pole. No way. But if I did, I'd have to mention Nancy Pelosi in the Zoom zone.
Our weather today is all about high pressure. It's building in. It's an Arctic air mass. We're feeling that chill this morning. Later this afternoon, partly cloudy, windy, cooler than what we had on Wednesday. The high in the low to mid 40s. Tonight is clear and cold. The winds do die down. So with the low to mid 20s, we're not talking about as fierce of a wind chill for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow itself is partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures are a bit more mild. Our highs in the mid to upper 40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Gonna believe what happened.
What happened?
What happened?
I woke up this morning
And?
it's Thursday.
Today is Thursday.
Well, so far that is very believable.
What do you have?
Well,
I've brought you the greatest gift of all.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Loud early morning.
Early morning.
Entertainment.
Well, in that case,
Entertain me.
it's showtime.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And welcome back to Hour 2 of the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the Leader Man's misshapen sidekick. Good morning.
Don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link is located. If you're on your mobile device, YouTube will do the work for you. Put Mornings with the Leader Man, all one word, into your search to get the right results to the top of your list. If you're on your mobile device just needing our audio stream, we suggest the players that will play it well. That's like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Many others will do it too. Just put WEEB into your search, and we should be there at the top of your results. If you're on your computer going to our website at talk973.com, that little stream's available to you where that icon says Listen Live, which is in the upper right-hand corner of any of our pages. Tap it once, and you're listening just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Sunny today, 42 for a high. Clear tonight, 22 tomorrow. Sunny and 45. Partly cloudy Friday night, 27. Saturday, mostly cloudy. 30% chance rain and snow, a high of 44. Then Saturday night, cloudy with rain, a low of 34. 80% chance of getting wet. Sunday, we'll start out with rain and head and go mostly cloudy by afternoon. Look for a high of 42. Sunday night, cloudy and 33. Monday, The rain's out of here. It will be mostly cloudy, isolated showers still possible, not likely. High of 44. And Tuesday and Wednesday back to sunshine and highs in the low to mid-50s. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are north-northwest at 5, visibility 10 statute miles, pressure 30-12, dew point 16, humidity 58%. It's sunny and 30, let's make it sunny and 29 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:28, 28 past the hour on this Thursday morning. A couple other things. We were starting last hour. It didn't get to things we need to know. Among the things being shown at the annual Consumer Electronics Show this week, the first ever DNA kit for cats came out. Do you really want to know? Fans went bonkers the other day when Beyonce was spotted, where else? In a Los Angeles Target store. She was shopping for Blue Ivy's birthday. A $1,500 a month daycare center has opened in San Francisco for dogs. $1,500 a month for dogs for daycare. Yes, it's expensive to live in California.
When you are swimming in Silicon Valley money and living in San Francisco, you pay that kind of money.
And after taxes, it'll be $2,500.
Yeah.
FYI, a new report says that the top 20% of households pay 88% of all federal income tax.
That's old news, and few people know it.
I know. They want to beat up on the big bad corporations, chase them out of our country again. But 20% of households pay 88% of all federal taxes. That means the rest of us pay 12% of the taxes.
Yeah, our state legislature this last year enacted some changes. One that just happened. One is that the income tax went down, but another part of that was that fewer people are paying income tax. Now, while that's all well and good, what it does is it keeps concentrating those that pay into a smaller group, and it's much easier for everybody else to vote to keep raising taxes when you're not paying taxes.
Well, they're shifting the tax over to sales tax on items that weren't taxed before, like in the remodeling business. If it's new construction, it gets taxed. If it's I'm getting it backwards. I can't have to remember. But if it's a fix problem, then it's not taxed.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And that's kind of I know you don't, not going to get into it here, but you don't like the fair tax. But at the national level, the fair tax means that everybody is paying, everybody has some skin in the game. And so when the cost of the fair tax goes up, then everybody can look and say, all right, this is going to cost me exactly this amount.
Well, the fair tax is never going to be a reality.
Last year.
It's never going to be a reality. It's a little point in talking about it. All right, today's impossible question. According to a recent survey, 90% of kids learn how to do this before the age of 4.
Interrupt other people talking.
No. I have to get my buzzer out on you. Probably so. So, no. Try again.
Tie their shoes.
Tie their shoes. That's a reasonable guess, but that's incorrect, too. It's that's why we call it an impossible question.
Create a phone app.
Tell a lie.
Children don't lie. We learned that during the McMartin thing.
They learn how to lie by the age of 4?
Hell yes. They learn how to lie prior to that.
Let's see. They go,
much prior.
I tell the truth, I'm going to get smacked. If I tell a lie, I might get away with it.
Yeah, I think
I'm telling a lie.
I think it's basically innocent, but it's just exactly as you said. It's a cost-benefit analysis.
Yeah. Get beat or not beat? That is the question. From a Did You Know category, the current record for the number of socks worn on one foot simultaneously is?
Who gives a damn?
184 socks. I guess they would need to be getting progressively bigger to get over the hump.
I would think.
Every cell in our skeleton is replaced how often?
Every cell in our skeleton.
In your body.
Well, it says skeleton, so it means the bones.
It's true in the body, too.
I'll say every 2 years.
7 years.
7 years.
I believe the brain doesn't replace cells, but...
neurons don't get replaced.
Let's see. Around 7% of men spent at least some of their day in this place.
At least some of the day in this place. On
this place. Let me just tell you, it's on the couch. Millennials are about twice as likely as seniors to say that parents should decide this about their kids, not the law.
Got me.
Whether their kids get vaccinated. When you put a snake into space, what happens?
When you put a snake in a space.
Into space.
Into space.
You know, beyond the Earth's gravitational.
Are we talking outside of pressure? Okay, it must be.
No, it's in. If you put one in the
space station,
in the ISS.
I have no idea.
Well, some of them tie themselves into a knot, and others try to attack themselves.
Wow.
What else are you going to do? Trying to move is what they're trying to do, get something to crawl on. I would call that animal abuse myself, but...
That's fascinating.
But that's what we're down to, my friends. Why we can't get out of Earth orbit and go somewhere. Like Mars would be the next logical step. But we can't seem to do it to save our life. And now we're down to doing it because we have to find out so many things in the weightless condition. Like, what does a snake do when it can't crawl? 1 in 4 adults have suffered, 1 in 4 adults have done this. I take that back. 1 in 4 adults has a stuffed animal on their bed. Ingesting a quart of this can send you into a coma or kill you due to excess salt in the bloodstream. This is a common item that you can get at the grocery store. Not Drano.
Got me.
Soy sauce. What in the world is in there?
Lots of salt.
Do that to you. That's not going to be very much fun.
Obviously, that's a rare occurrence.
And here's a bizarre story for you. In China, a very misguided 17-year-old boy wanted an iPhone so badly, little did he know, that he decided to sell one of his kidneys to get one. That was 8 years ago. So it was for an iPhone S4, no less. Boy's name is Xiao Wang, and he was told he was going to have a normal life with just one kidney. But now at the age of 24, Wang is permanently disabled and dependent on dialysis.
It's terrible.
For the rest of his life. Just summarizing everything here, it basically said that he, went into the black market, sold one of his kidneys for $3,200. And they did it at an illegal hospital with illegal doctors. Wasn't sanitized when they did it. And he ended up with a bunch of infection that then...
ravaged his other kidney?
Yeah, depleted the function of his other kidney. So now he has to have dialysis for the rest of his life.
Dumbass kids.
Yeah, so... I don't think the iPhone's worth that. It ain't worth the way they sell it for, much less a kidney. You think people ought to be able to sell their organs?
Yes.
Well, that too will never happen. Not in America, anyway.
I don't think that will never happen is a safe statement. Haven't we seen so many things happen that we said that will never happen 30 years ago that you can't say that anymore?
Well, sometimes.
Ocasio-Cortez.
I can see why that happened, because in the right situation, so few people in New York actually vote. I think it's like 18% show up and vote. And she was aggressive and got her name out there, and she was going to every storefront she could get into, and
in an almost completely Democrat district.
Yeah. Did she have any competition on her side?
She did. There was a Republican running, yeah, but, he...
No, I'm talking about Democrat.
Oh, Democrat. I don't remember.
In the primary. So if she's the only one that filed, well, then now it's easy to understand how she got in.
But, yeah, you're right. So many people out there just, why are you voting? Well, I don't know. She's the only name I know. Well, she seems nice. I don't know.
All this standoff between Pelosi and Schumer and Trump is nothing but Schumer and Pelosi. I say this sincerely. Hate Trump more than they love this country. It's all about denying him any kind of resemblance to a victory. And to me, that just says, you love, this is about your power. This is about yourselves, because you sure aren't thinking about this country.
You don't think trying to create a permanent Democrat Party?
Well, they'll justify it somehow in their head. But I see it as the layperson standing outside looking in, that you hate this man worse because you've said in the past that you were for the wall. You voted for the wall. Obama voted for it as a senator. Schumer voted for it. Pelosi has stated numerous times she was for a wall. But now that Trump comes in, all of a sudden, no, we're not for a wall. It's immoral.
Yeah, I don't
come one, come all to the Democratic Party.
Exactly. I don't take anything from that. I think you're absolutely right. But I think there's also that added thing of the last sentence you just said there.
All right, let's pop in some rim.
Seems like
even more disturbing, the wrestler in question is Hulk Hogan. The Arizona Cardinals hired Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff spelled K-L-I-F-F. I guess that's the cool way of spelling it. Anyway, Kingsbury has never coached an NFL team, so nothing's changed there with the Cardinals. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and his wife are divorcing after 25 years of marriage. She gets the house, the car, and, of course, free shipping. So very soon, his wife's attorney will take over his title as the richest person in the world. I wonder what she'll settle for on the way out the door. That golden parachute she'll get.
After 25 years, pretty significant. And
okay, I'll give up $5 billion. Will that make you happy?
Oh, hell no. I think she's going for a lot more than that. I'll bet he won't be the richest man in the world after that divorce.
Now, he's worth $163 billion, I think it is, or $167, but that's worth. That's a lot in non-negotiable ways. Like he can own a lot of assets. Well, that didn't cash in the bank.
But she could get assets.
Yeah, she could get assets. I don't know about the laws where they're at, but
particularly since she was with him since before Amazon.
Usually they get 1/2 of everything that was acquired during the marriage.
Yeah, 25 years.
Not before or after. Trump stormed out of the meeting with congressional Democrats after they refused to fund his border wall. At one point, Schumer got so angry he pounded his fist on the desk, but they were so small that they made no sound. January is National Blood Donor Month. A simple way to save someone's life. Another is to discourage visits to downtown Chicago, especially at night. Starbucks is installing needle disposal boxes in some bathrooms. The boxes are designed for people who become heroin addicts after trying to cope with the fact that they just spent $7 on a small coffee. An artificial intelligence expert says machines will replace 40% of global jobs in as soon as 15 years. That would be great at Starbucks because, unlike baristas, machines could spell your name correctly and display much more personality. Frontier Airlines now allows you to tip your flight attendants. Cool. So what's 15% of a half a can of Coke, huh? And a woman in Scotland was prescribed erectile dysfunction cream instead of eye cream because her doctors had such bad handwriting it got misinterpreted at the pharmacy. But the good news is that she no longer has droopy eyelids. There is a positive to this. And that's your rim shots for today. All right.
My dad had good handwriting.
Was he a doctor?
Yeah.
What kind?
Surgeon, a urologist.
Is he still alive?
No.
Too bad. I could go see him.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you become a doctor?
You know, my dad saw medicine going socialized 40 years ago and never pushed us that way. The whole family's full of doctors. Even the newbies are still becoming doctors. My little brother's an anesthesiologist, but
he gets the good hours.
Yeah, I guess. Never really talked to him about his hours. Definitely better than OBGYN.
Yeah. Any other brothers a doctor?
My other brother, I have one other brother. He's an ER nurse. He was a nurse in the Navy. Retired Navy nurse. You better believe I beat up on him. But he married a woman who was...
Always hitting up on the nurses, are you?
Just the retired male Navy nurses. But he married a woman who's 30 years younger than he is. So
hey, he's not stupid, is he? Or is he?
No, she's good people.
Yeah, but you know, maybe it's working for him. But him excluding him, if you're out there talking to folks and they're 30 years younger than you, it's hard to really connect.
Well, they were living together for like 15 years or something before they got married. So,
because our generation's talking about what's aching next, and they're talking about traveling the world and seeing everything. And
when you say our generation, you're talking about you and your elderly friends.
Yeah, when we stand up, some things hurt.
A lot of people are surprised to hear that I'm 31. I guess I sound older on.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear it too. 61, I might believe, but
how old?
61.
61?
Yeah.
No.
Might believe that. All right, it is 8:46, 46 past the hour. Let's go chase some bad guys this morning.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn to go down.
All right, my friends, it's time once again. Straight across the floor in the style of the Duke, John Wayne. Open up our closet doors. Look at all 30 of our Liberty safes. Today we're going to mosey on over to Liberty Safe number 26.
This is a Franklin.
Huh?
26 is a Franklin.
All right. Well, we'll open that thing up. Let Matt reach in and pull out our weapon of choice this morning.
You know what? You got one. I'm going to give you one of these. I bought one myself recently, and I really, really like it a lot. It is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9 semi-auto. 17-round capacity in the magazine, one in the pipe.
Wow.
Straight shooter, accurate gun. It's a great gun.
I always like my friend Smith & Wesson. All right, we'll throw that into the holster, pin on our badge, grab 5 cans of some super whoop ass as we now head out the door. and relentless pursuit of some stupid criminal news. Stupid criminal news number one this morning. If this guy had a redo, he might drop one person from his wedding party. Nicholas Camargo got married in Key West last month, and one of his groomsmen was a 29-year-old buddy named Giovanni Arredano.
Giovanni?
I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak German.
The reception was at a restaurant called Flight Island. And after a round of shots, Giovanni...
It's Italian, by the way.
Giovanni, as we say in the South. Get your Giovanni over here. He pulled out a switchblade.
Oh!
Started playing around with it. Nicholas asked him to stop, but instead Giovanni continued to joke around, started making stabbing motions at him, and accidentally stabbed him in the left thigh.
Yeah, genius.
He tried to flee the scene by jumping off the second floor balcony, but hit his head. Apparently he's okay, and so is the groom.
What is
Giovanni had to be airlifted to a hospital in Miami, so that can't be cheap. Three guesses who's going to pay for that flight.
Yeah, that's right.
He won't face assault charges since the stabbing was an accident. The groom isn't pressing charges, but he broke two railings on the balcony that cost about $1,100 in damages. So the police arrested him this past Tuesday for felony criminal mischief. One going to let stupid get away with it completely. And that's why maybe the judge can force him to pay for that air flight. Stupid criminal news number two. You know 911 isn't a customer complaint hotline, right? There's a 79-year-old guy named William Batts in a suburb of Cleveland. Of course, that's in Ohio. It's called South Euclid. Is that right? Euchlid. Anyway. Last week, he got himself two hookers.
Euclid.
He got himself two hookers through a friend. Not one, but two. Why? He said, let's see. After they wrapped things up with him, he called 911 to report a robbery. And why? Well, he said the hookers, quote, failed to meet my expectations, but they still took $500 from his wallet anyway.
Hookers weren't honest?
By the time the police got there, the ladies were gone, and Williams gave him their best description that he could. According to the police report, he said they were black, about 40 years old. One was 5'7", the other one was named Kahisha, and is the, quote, short, fat one, end of quote. I'd be shutting the door the second I opened it if I saw all that. Anyway, the police never found the ladies, and they wound up not charging Williams for soliciting or abusing 911. I guess they felt he'd been...
Screwed enough?
Yeah, screwed enough for one day. And that, my friends, is your stupid criminal news for this Thursday.
Boy, that segment was aptly named.
Huh?
That was aptly named today.
Yeah. Well, some days it just doesn't go well. All right. Part everybody just lives breathlessly for, the point where you get to hold your arm in the air and put your fingers up as called for, please.
And now it's time for...
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, your 4 random facts for today, and maybe a spare if you're good. Fruit snacks are covered in the same wax as cars.
Carnauba?
I don't know. There is only one guy, so next time you chomp down on one of those fruit candies, just remember, car wax. There was only one guy who survived the atomic bombings in both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. His name is...
Lucky.
Tsutomu Yamaguchi. And he died in 2010 at the age of 93. North Korea had its own time zone for 3 years. From August 15 to May of last year, they were on Korean time, North Korean time, which was about a half hour behind South Korea. Only North Korea, I guess. The first actor to play James Bond was an American. Barry Nelson played him in an episode for a TV show called Climax in 1954, 8 years before the first Bond movie.
I did not know that.
And shrapnel is named after Harry Shrapnel, a major general in the British Army. In the late 1700s, he invented an exploding shell with lead pellets inside. And that's your random facts for today.
Wow. You know, hand grenades are scored on the inside so that when it explodes, it tears along the scores and sends out little shards of sharp metal.
All right, well, let's do a little fun thing here with the time we got left. The things that Americans do in movies that confuse foreigners. Someone put together a list of things Americans do in movies and TV that confuse foreigners. One of them is hanging up without saying goodbye, which isn't really an American thing. It's just a movie thing. Here's a little sample.
You know if you're going to leave town.
Okay. Make sure they pick it up. All right, we'll see you in a few.
I'll pick it up later, all right?
All right, I'll be here till 6.
Good.
I'll be waiting.
Yeah, I'll be at practice.
Let me see what I can do. I'll get back to you.
All right, I'll get back to you later on.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I guess it's just a cool thing to do.
In the movies.
Another thing Americans do in the movies that confuse foreigners, eating meatloaf. Tell me which movie this is from.
You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf? Chaz, I think I'm okay. I had a bite right before I came over. Thank you. You sure? You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf. You want some? Yes. I knew you'd go. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! Ma! The meatloaf!
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. A scene like that you can't remember. Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
Another thing that we confuse them with is when we compare the length of things to a football field. Which movie is this from?
Andy crawled to freedom through 500 yards of foulness I can't even imagine. Or maybe I just don't want to. 500 yards. That's the length of 5 football fields. Just shy of half a mile.
You know the movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
That's right. And those are just some of the things we do that just confuse the hell out of those foreigners when they get here.
That is a good movie.
Another little interesting tidbit from Hollywood. I want the other one. Here we go. Samuel L. Jackson is Hollywood's most bankable star. His 120-plus movies have made $13.3 billion around the world and $5.7 billion in the U.S. That's better than Harrison Ford and Tom Hanks, who are the next two guys on the list. But movies aren't his only source of income. In fact, they might not even be his main source of income. According to a new profile in Hollywood Reporter, Samuel makes 8 figures a year doing those crappy Capital One commercials. That means at least $10 million a year. Not bad for a guy who spent 15 years of his life addicted to crack. And I want you to get those snakes off a plane.
I think those commercials are the only thing he doesn't say that in.
And I just don't have time for this next one. It's about Jerry Seinfeld hates Jimmy Kimmel's guts.
Well, who doesn't?
But we'll have to tell you why tomorrow because we just don't have time. All right, so it goes for this Thursday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow. 7 to 9 for a TSIF Thanks Steve. It's Friday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. 68% of your money will stay here when you shop locally. And don't forget millions of Americans. They have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the Leader Man and Nick and Colt the Dog will see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Chili Dog Park.
And I'm Matt Horsey with a thought provoker from Dennis Prager. Conservatives divide the world in terms of good and evil, while liberals do it in terms of rich and poor. Chris Plant Show begins after the news and weather. Did you know WEEB Talk Radio carries Rush Limbaugh? Live even. We do. He follows Chris Plant at noon. Steve Leader Adams and I will be back tomorrow at 7 for Mornings with the Leader Man.